Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. This week I thought of doing a tactics video, but I wanted to make it a bit more fun. So I've also created a single player game, and the goal of this game is to teach you a tactic that you might already know, but at least you have a bit of fun playing it, or maybe you don't know, and you get to play a fun game and learn something about Warhammer Underworlds at the same time. Now, the challenge is going to be called the Danglebro Challenge. We love our Danglebros here on Tabletop Sydney. They're our favourite little fighters, even though they get smashed all the time. And this is going to be no exception. We're going to smash those Danglebros. The tactic we're going to be going through, though, is threat ranges. And it's a tactic that a lot of seasoned veteran players will probably not think twice about. They'll probably just understand it intuitively and not think about, oh, how does this work? They'll sort of look at the board and assess it and understand it. But a lot of new players, I've learned, especially locally, will make this mistake and not quite understand it. They'll make a charge and they might get a kill and they'll get countercharged and killed and they'll be like, oh, I got my kill, they got lucky with their dice rolls. But they won't think about how they could have avoided that. They'll charge into poor positions and then they'll often blame the dice, the defense dice, they might blame their objectives not scoring, but they won't actually understand the tactic that they're failing. So with this challenge here, we're going to try and show that off. Now, to play this challenge, you need a few things. One, you need 11 models. That can be any model from any range. And we'll get into that in a second. Second, you need to download the official Tabletop Sydney Danglebro Challenge PDFs, and that'll contain the rules, but also the fighter cards that you'll need. Now, this is all in the description below, so go down there, click those links. It's a free download, just grab them. But you'll get a cool set of fighter cards, including these four. These are the Tabletop Sydney Warband. We've got Kent, we've got Kiva, we've got Kyle, and we've got Jacko. So you get to play as these four. Obviously, they haven't got their own models in Underworlds yet, maybe one day. But for now, choose whatever models you want to represent them. That's really up to you on who you think they sort of suit, or who you have in your collection, of course. On the other side, we have our Danglebros. There are 7 fighters, 3 of which are pretty strong, kind of a bit of a tough one to get through, and 4 of them are exactly what they're called, Danglebros. So you'll need 7 models for them. If you've got a 7-model warband like Grimwatch or Thorns of the Briar Queen or something like that, that'll work perfectly. Just use them. If you want to mix and match, you can go for that as well. And if you have the whole collection, just put one of every different warband in, have a bit of fun with it. Now, as you play, there are 2 modes. There's the normal mode, I'll call it, which is the uninspired side of the Danglebro warband. But the inspired side is for the advanced players. If you find this one a bit tough, or a bit easy, sorry, maybe this one's for you. Or if you think, oh, I'm a veteran, I can take it on, give the inspired ones a go. It might surprise you on how difficult it can be. You have to be very smart and very tactical because a lot of your dice rolls aren't going to work very well there. Anyway, let's move on to the game. So this game starts very simply with the board placement. You get to place 2 game boards of your choice, and quite honestly, the game boards dictate a lot of the difficulty. You try different game boards out. If you're struggling with one, change it around and see how it goes. Place them in any orientation you want. I'm not going to deploy objectives. We're not using any ploys, objectives, or upgrade cards at all here. They all go away. We're just using the fighters, the fighter cards, and the 2 boards here, and some dice, of course. Now, once the boards are deployed, go ahead and deploy the enemy warband, the Danglebros. Now, I recommend deploying the strong fighters at the back of the board, where they're kind of out of range a little bit, and the weak fighters towards the front, like this. So now we've got our board deployed. We have our strong, we call them lieutenants and captains. They're at the back. They're ready to countercharge if we get into range. Their range is not very big, so we can work around that. And at the front, we've got the Danglebros, the people we want to kill. Now, you can deploy it in reverse if you want. It'll make it a very difficult scenario, but go for it. Deploy them anywhere you want. Try a bunch out. If it's not working for you, if you can't win, change it up. See how you go. Once we've deployed our enemy fighters, we're going to deploy our friendly fighters. So you can put them in any square you want. Take a look at the Tabletop Sydney Warband and their stats because they're all a little bit different. Try and figure out where you think they should go. For example, Kiva has a little bit extra range, so maybe he could sit at the back a little bit. He can still get in there. And Jacko, for example, hasn't got the most health in the world, so maybe keep him safe. In fact, I'm going to swap him around here just to protect him a little bit for the start of the match. Once you've deployed, there's no roll-off. You have to go first. That's just how it is. I know usually it's unusual for a 4-model warband to go first here, but we're going to go first and give a chance to react. Now, your goal in this game is to kill as many Danglebros as possible. In the rule sheet that you look at, you'll see there's different tiers of victory. The best tier, the platinum tier, is if you can kill all 4 of those Danglebros, or you can kill 2 Danglebros and one of the other fighters, one of the tougher ones, and you lose 1 or less fighters, that's platinum. And then you obviously scale down from there. If you ever go 1 for 1, is that you take out 2 and lose 2, it's going to be a fail. You need to come out of this ahead and in a good position as match. And the other rule in this game is that every activation you take has to be an attack or a charge. No moving here. Everyone's attacking or charging. Let's keep it simple. Moving kind of adds a third level to the game that can complicate it. And for this, we want to stick to some basics, just to teach you some tactics. In the actual game, of course, you can do all that. But for now, we'll keep it like this. So once you're like this, you can do your activation. Now, I'm going to do my first activation. I'm going to charge Kyle into this Danglebro right here. And obviously, a charge action is what I want to do here. Now, this is an interesting position because I've charged into the wrong spot. What the tactic I'm trying to teach you here is threat ranges. Now, I know, for example, the captain, Morgok right back here, is quite strong. He has 3 hammers as well as an innate hammer, and he will do 4 damage. And he also moves 3. So if I charge to here, 1, 2, 3, he will countercharge me. But if I charge to here, and I don't get the kill, then he won't be able to countercharge me. So just an idea to think about there. I'm actually going to go for a different tactic. I'm going to charge in Jacko into there. He's going to be my first charger, and we're going to roll dice like usual. Now you look at your fire stats and you can determine your dice like usual. Because you're only one person playing it, you just roll all the dice. And you can do it in one handful. There's no re-rolls here, so we'll keep it simple. So Jacko rolls 3 hammers, and the Danglebro has 1 dice. So I'm going to roll the dice here, and I've rolled 2 successes, and the poor Danglebro has rolled a double support. So the Danglebro is dead. That's fun. Good on you, Jacko. You got a good kill. That's 1 Danglebro down, but now we give a chance for the opponent to react. And there is a good chunk of rules in the rule document to determine what to do here. Now, the tricky thing is that captain back there is suddenly in range because I've killed that Danglebro. And if you look at the rule list, the captain will always activate first. Second, the lieutenants will activate if they can. And third, the Danglebros will. So if the captain's in range, he gets to do the activation and he will make a charge action. He's going to charge into Jacko. Now the captain has got 3 hammers and innate hammers, and Jacko has got 2 dodge. So we're going to roll these 5 dice here, and luckily for Jacko, he's rolled 2 crits. So he manages to survive that attack, very luckily. Now keep in mind when you play as well, the normal rules for charging apply. Once you've charged, you can't charge again. So Jacko with his 2 crits here has survived, and the captain's now out of action for the rest of the game. Not out of action, but he's not going to be able to charge again. Now looking at my second activation, I've got to think about which fighters here have the best threat. For example, lieutenants have 2 move and 2 range. Mr. Kent over here is a bit threatened, but I've obviously got to look at the lieutenants. They did 3 damage, and Kent, luckily for me, has 4 health. So he can take a hit there. Over here though, I have a free sort of charge into this little square here to kill this Danglebro. So I'm going to make that with Kyle. He's going to go charging into here, into poor Mr. Master Talon. Now Kyle, obviously, with his great dice rolling, only gets 2 hammers. And the Danglebro gets 1 dice to defend. So we're going to roll it. And unsurprisingly, Kyle does not succeed in his attack. Now you obviously can drive back if you want. And I will do so. I'm just going to drive that fighter back like that. So that's 1 activation there where I didn't get a kill. That's unfortunate, but I can still win this scenario. In fact, I'm probably still winning this scenario. Now we go again and we have a look at what attacks next. So we look at the fighters that haven't activated, and we've got a lieutenant that is in range. So the captain has already activated, so he can't activate again. Now we go to the lieutenants, and if there is a fighter in range, they'll make an attack, or then if they are out of range of that, they can make a charge. Obviously, if the lieutenants are still out of range, then the Danglebros will make a charge. And the final thing is, if none of the enemies can activate because they're all out of range, they skip their turn. So if you can set up that nice scenario where they're just all out of range and not able to do anything, you kind of get a nice little bonus that helps you win the scenario. So we're going to make the charge of the lieutenant. He's going to charge in here, and he's going to charge into Mr. Kent over there. So this lieutenant has 2 hammers, and Kent has 2 dodge. So we're going to roll that dice. In this case, we also fail. So another failed charge there. Obviously, my dice are not doing so well. And because we did roll successes and they didn't, it doesn't get to drive back. So now we go to our 3rd activation, and we've got to think about, okay, now we've got to think about how to win. Now, looking at where the Danglebros are, the lieutenants are a bit harder to kill. They've got 3 wounds and 2 dodge, but I want to go for the Danglebros. Now, I can think about this in 2 ways. I can charge 1, 2, 3, 4 Kent sort of around the back here, and that will give this lieutenant here an opportunity to charge in and attack him. Or I can try and open a path here for this back Danglebro for Kent by charging in Kiva into here. This also means that this lieutenant at the back here isn't going to have a valuable target for this next round because they're all out of range. Trying to think about the tactics used here. So we're going to attack here with Kiva. He actually has 2 range, so I'm going to just sit back a little bit. There's no reason to go diving in. Kiva has also still got 2 hammers though, and he will roll. He'll get a crit and a hit. So that is a second Danglebro out. I'm doing very well. So Kiva's had a great activation. Now we're going to go on to the enemy's next activation. Now, the rules are very simple. Lieutenants, the captain's already activated. This lieutenant has already activated too, so he's charged. Can't charge again, same rules. This lieutenant at the back here is out of range. He's got 2 move and 2 range, so he can't reach anything. So now we go to the Danglebros. They get to make their charge. And in this case, there's only one viable target. We have 2 Danglebros left, and this one here, 1, 2, 3, he can make a charge, but so can this one. In a scenario that multiple Danglebros can charge, you look at the one that is furthest back on the board. So you charge from the bottom of the enemy board forwards. These 2 are on the same row, so we technically get to choose who gets to charge here. I'm going to charge in this guy, just to keep things interesting. This is Master Talon. He will get 2 hammers. Everyone has hammers in this game. It's a bit more fun with hammers. And then we have Kyle, who has 2 dodge. I'm going to roll that dice there. And Kyle has actually succeeded in his roll, but also so has the Danglebro. So it's 1 success versus 1 success. Danglebros always drive back directly away from their opponent, just to sort of get the supports out of the way. So make sure you remember that rule. Final activation comes around, and we're going to go to Mr. Kent here. He's going to charge in his 4, try and take out this 3rd Danglebro here. Now Kent, he gets 3 hammers, and he rolls 2 crits. It's not a very good roll for Kent. Usually he gets 3 crits and versus none. So that is the 3rd Danglebro dead for me. And for the final activation here, the lieutenant is now in range. He will make a charge action into Kent. And we'll do that by doing the 2 hammers into Kent's 2 defense. And we have Kent rolling a crit yet again. Classic Kent. So now we've finished the game. We've had our 4 activations. We haven't actually lost any fighters, which is a fantastic result for us. We've killed 3 Danglebros, just 1 shy of the 4 Danglebro Platinum Award that we would get, and we've lost no fighters. So that's a gold result for us. Now we can keep playing and try and get a Platinum result on this board, or we can change the board around and try something different. The key to this though is obviously rolling crits on defense. That's very nice, but also trying to keep the fighters, the strong ones, out of the way. Early on, I threw Jacko in because I could lose him. He can get his charge and trade 1 for 1. And then with the captain out of range, I knew I could keep the lieutenants back out of the board. So that's the game. Give it a try. Try different boards, try different setups, and try and see how you go with winning. Now, when you feel like this is easy, they're not getting kills here. In this game, I got a bit lucky. I might change it over to the Inspired deck. This is a tough one. You're going to find it very hard to kill the Danglebros. They all have innate dodge, and all the lieutenants and the captain all have innate hammers. So it's going to be difficult to get your attack successful. Also, the captain gets 5 attack dice. That's pretty badass. But if you find that you're just rolling well, they're not getting the kills off, the attacks are a bit unreliable for the Danglebros, try this out. I think you'll be a bit challenged. You'll have to think very tactically. You might even find some boards beyond difficult with that setup. Anyway, if you thought this was a bit of fun, check the description because the 3 PDFs you need to play this game are in there. 2 of them are the fighter cards that you need, and 1 of them is the rules. So check them out, give it a go, play it on your table, tell us how you go, tell us which models you pick for the Tabletop Sydney Warband. I want to see who you guys think it matches which fighter. I think that's a bit of fun. And obviously, if you have any questions, please reach out to us in the comments. If you find it's a bit confusing, let us know why, and we'll get back to you very quickly so you can enjoy playing some single-player Underworlds and also learn a bit of tactics at the same time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.